Welcome everyone, this is John with Living in Our 50s. And it's a little bit windy out today, but we do have sunshine. There is a cold front and it's getting a little cooler, but just wanted to come to you on this Saturday. Y'all will be watching this on Sunday. I always upload for the next morning. But anyhow, like I said, my name's John and we are living in our 50s. So kind of today's topic is going to really hit on that. We're going to talk a little bit about adult friendships and how, nobody really has told us about the adult friendships, and some of them aren't meant to last forever. And that's okay. It's not failure. It's called growth. Don't know if y'all were really prepared with how friendships would go, and you thought, oh, you'd be friends with somebody from high school the rest of your life. And some people are. Some people have those school friends. But I imagine those are the people who stayed in the town. My wife and I, we didn't. We moved to the Dallas area as adults. So that's kind of why I wanted to talk a little bit about this, because it does affect you, especially for proximity purposes. But this can be 3 chapters I'm going to cover in the Let Them theory today, and that's going to be chapters 11, 12, and 13. So let's start with chapter 11. The truth about adult friendship. Adult friendships aren't built on proximity like school or work. Kind of like I touched a little bit. There's things that happen, and we move to other cities, and what have you, or they move away, whatever. Somebody moved, work. If you're working with somebody and you change jobs or they change jobs, then you most likely are not going to be stay friends. Very few people stay friends with people for very long. But, we do have old-time friends that, we get with every now and then, but it doesn't happen very often. It's not somebody you could call at 3 o'clock in the morning if there was an emergency. So these relationships require intentionality. You've got to be very intentional to keep them going. And I think that's been the difference with some of my wife's old coworkers from, was it Arco? Or no, I don't think she's friends with anybody from Arco, but I can't remember now. Anyhow, so in Proverbs 27:17 it says iron sharpens iron. The right friendships sharpen you, not drain you. So if you've got friendships that are draining you, it may be time that you gracefully say goodbye. I've had some like that, where I've had to gracefully say goodbye because they were draining. I can imagine I was the person that people had to say goodbye to because I was draining. So probably me more so than anybody was with me, that's for sure. But I'm not bitter about it. I get it. I understand why. Chapter 12 moves to why some friendships naturally fade. Seasons change. We change churches. We change jobs. We change, cities or locations. Values will shift. When we became Christians, I think it did affect us somewhat in the relationships we had. And we had new relationships with people who thought the way we do. And then we had old relationships that we didn't have anymore because they didn't think like us. Growth creates distance. Sometimes just growing spiritually, y'all can probably hear my dog snorting over here. Just growing spiritually is gonna drive distance between you because somebody may not like how you've changed. Maybe they were a toxic person. You have to get away from that person. Not everyone is meant for every chapter in your life. Let that sink in. Ecclesiastes 3, to everything there is a season. Sometimes the most mature thing you can do is release with grace. That's the thing that we sometimes have a hard time. We stay in relationships that we shouldn't. We let them drain us. We let them, do this or that. And then when that person calls, you just kind of dip your head and kind of close your eyes like, oh, here we go again. I don't have any like that right now. Not every friendship ends because something went wrong. Some end because something went right. You grew. this from that Let Them Theory book. Chapter 13, how to create the best friendships of your life. So, first one, I love this step. The first one is become the kind of friend you want. So instead of being that person that everybody wants to keep excluding, not to let you in on that relationship or in that friendship, maybe you've got friends. I know she was telling a story in the book about they were friends with these couples, but I guess they had moved away, and so they kept seeing these couples getting together, and they were bitter. She was get bitter about it at times, and that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You can't get bitter about stuff like that. It's gonna, let me get out of the wind. Getting bitter about stuff like that is gonna be excruciating for you. You just want to become the kind of friend that you want, because if you want that kind of friend, others are probably going to want that kind of friend. I haven't been that kind of guy in a long time, maybe ever. I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't have friendships from high school and stuff, because I wasn't a very good friend myself. So I'm gonna get up underneath the cover because it's too windy. Let me sit over here. Get this. Oh. Stop chasing people who don't reciprocate. You ever had that person where it seems like it's always up to you to come up with the idea or be available to them? I can think of several like that. I can't really talk about them because I don't want them to see this and then think, oh, I didn't realize that. But stop chasing those people that don't reciprocate. Invest where there is mutual effort and be vulnerable first. I think that's going to be the key. If you open up first and lead like that, then others will do that as well. They will open up and be wise. It'll be wise for you to do that. And here, last but not least, choose quality over quantity. If you choose quality over quantity, make it quality relationships and not worry about many relationships, you'll just naturally have more and more relationships. But quality over quantity. So how do you do that? How do you find those people? Well, you find them at churches, you find them at a gym, you find them at work, you find them at different volunteer organizations. That's a great way. So if you want to find like-minded people, those are the kinds of places you're gonna probably find these folks at. And I'm sure there's some others as well. Jesus had 12, then he had 3, and then he had 1. His closest was John. Even he modeled circles of friendship. The best friendships of your life might just be ahead of you, because now you know who you are. Let them go if they need to go, and let the right ones stay. I'm going to leave y'all with that thought, but I'm going to invite y'all, like and subscribe to this channel if you like the content. I know the content's still kind of all over the place, but I think that's kind of how it's going to be. Our life is all over the place, and that's what this is all about. This is just mainly the Let Them Theory. It's been probably a couple weeks since I circled back to this, but these were 3 chapters. I wanted to put them together, so I was waiting until I finished all 3 chapters before I did the vlog, and it took me a little longer to get the 3 chapters done than it was in probably the first week I was doing this. But I think that'll be I think these are one of these 3, I think they all go together well, and you need to understand your part of it. I'm understanding mine a lot better now on this side of it. I have a lot more wisdom maybe about it, but I just know that I haven't been the best friend to other people, and You know, I've had some friendships that have hurt as well. So, I just want to invite y'all to comment. If you've experienced a relationship, or if you got some thoughts on maybe something I've said, then add that into the comments. And, if you have that experience of friendships fading in this season of life, well, maybe that's something we could have a dialogue in the comments about, or maybe open up to more questions. If you got questions, maybe we could open it up to questions of people, and maybe there's another video that needs to be done. Who knows? But I just invite y'all to like and subscribe to the channel. And as I always say, if the Lord wills, we'll see you in the next vlog. Y'all, God bless.